Hello everyone, it's me Jessie with Pampered Chef, bringing you all things fun and foodie from right here in my kitchen. It is Saturday morning and I thought I would try one of our new Tastebuds recipes, the potato latkes with a dill sour cream, because it sounded super good for brunch, breakfast. I get this little sample packet with my Tastebuds, but the all-purpose dill seasoning is actually one of our favorites. I love it with salmon. I love it in salad dressings, with eggs, with these pickled onions that I make on hamburgers. So good. So I'm gonna use my bottle and I'll save this for one of you as a sample to try. So let's get started. So this recipe is easy. It calls for 3 russet potatoes. Mine are kind of small, so I washed 4, and I also have 1 onion here. And you can grate these by hand, but I'm going to use my Rapid Prep mandolin because I love this thing. I have it set to the julienne setting and on number 1, and I think I'm gonna keep it there. We'll see here when I get started. I'm gonna attach the hopper. Be helpful if I put it the right direction. Oh my gosh, my brain. I need more coffee. I shouldn't make things in the morning without drinking it. All right, so I'm gonna give this a shot and see what it does to the potatoes. Make sure they're fine enough. Yeah, I think we'll be good. So if you can see, this is all hands-free. All of the blade is contained in here, so I'm not going to get cut. And it cuts things up so fast. And all the potato goes into this nice bowl. So then it's all contained. And I love it. I love it. Use this for french fries, for salad, for lettuce, for onions, for radishes, for hash browns all the time. So simple. All right, so that was way faster than hand grating 4 potatoes, right guys? I'm gonna dump them into a clean kitchen towel, and then I'm gonna grate the onion the same exact way. But I need to cut the end of it off first, and we'll probably have to cut it in half to fit it in a hopper. All right. You want to squeeze all the water out of your onion and potatoes so that your latkes get nice and crispy and golden brown. We have now cut up 4 potatoes and 1 onion in about a minute. And let's see if I can move this without making a huge mess. Ooh, the onion fumes are starting to get to me. Okay, I'm gonna go squeeze this over the sink and try to get out as much water as possible. And I'll be right back. Okay, I squeezed as much water and water out of the onions and the potatoes as I possibly could. You can see the towel is all wet. You're gonna wanna make sure you use a clean towel for this. And you can see how much the potatoes have gone down. Now, if the potatoes and the onions aren't releasing their juices, go ahead and put the salt on them from your recipe. I just put a couple sprinkles of salt on here and let them sit for a couple of minutes, and then all of the water will start to come out, and then you can easily squeeze it over the sink. So in my batter bowl, which I use for everything, I have 1/3 cup of panko breadcrumbs. You could use leftover dried up hamburger buns, croutons, crackers, matzo meal if you're trying to keep it kosher. Whatever you have, it's a good way to use up the things in the pantry. And I'm gonna put the potatoes and the onions right in there. And I'm going to crack 3 eggs. I'm gonna do it one at a time into my little bowl, just so that we can avoid getting shells in there, or if you have fresh eggs from like a farm, you don't want something yucky to end up into your mixture. So 3 eggs are going in. These all look great. And then we're going to put in a tablespoon of the dill mix. Stuff is delicious. That's the great thing about Tastebuds. You can try the seasoning blends, and then if you decide that you like them, you can just order the whole bottle. And then I'm adding in a teaspoon of baking powder, well, to just make the latkes like really light and tender. And then the best tool, your hands. Now, of course, this would be a great side dish with, or an appetizer, maybe a little smoked salmon for, you know, New Year's brunch or Christmas Day. These make a great breakfast. That's what we're gonna have them for, is breakfast today. So excited to eat them. You're gonna wanna get them all mixed together. All right, I think we're about good. I'm not even going to wash my one mixing hand because we're going to go over to the stove where I have a half of a cup of oil heating in my cast iron skillet, and we're going to form these into little patties and fry them up. Okay, we're over at the stove. I put in just one little piece of potato to see if my oil was hot. If it starts to immediately fry, you know you're good to go. So I can just take that out. I'm just gonna add it back in here because it's not gonna do anything. All right, we want to form little like quarter cup patties. You're gonna wanna squeeze it together a little bit. Remember, it's going to look a little moist because we do have the egg in there. And then you're gonna just lay them gently in the oil and kind of press them down. Now, you can make these really, really super tiny if you're doing an appetizer portion. You can make them a little bit bigger if you are doing them for maybe breakfast. I think maybe with a poached egg and some salmon would be great for like an Eggs Benedict. I should have probably got out my 12-inch cast iron, but this is only my 10-inch, so next time. And we're gonna cook these until they're golden brown on both sides. So 5 minutes approximately per side, undisturbed. 5 minutes, flip it over, 5 more minutes, and then they'll be perfect. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Using my fish spatula, you can see how on the edges they've gotten all nice and brown. I'm just gonna flip them over and look at that. Oh my goodness, these are gonna be delicious. I mean, who does not love crispy fried potatoes? Like, oh, so good. I got a couple little ones that stuck off or snuck out of the patty, but I guess I'll have to just put them over here and taste test them. Okay, I'm gonna keep frying and I'll see you back in a little bit. All right, it's been about 5 more minutes. These are GBD, golden brown delicious, just like Anne Brunell would say, on both sides. So I'm gonna carefully use my fish spatula and I'm gonna lift them out and I'm gonna put them on a tray. I'm just gonna set that tray over some paper towel. And as soon as they come out of the oil, you're gonna wanna sprinkle them with a tiny, tiny little bit of salt. And I'm just gonna keep going. This is gonna take a few minutes because I only used the 10-inch pan. I should have used the 12, didn't think about that. But if you want your latkes to stay hot, I have my oven set to the lowest temperature, which mine is 170, and I have my baking stone in there. So as soon as these like drain a little bit, I'm gonna throw those in the oven just to stay hot so that they'll be all hot and delicious when we're ready to eat them. I do not want to overcrowd my pan. I want to make sure my oil stays hot. That's the other tip I forgot to mention earlier. So I'm going to keep frying. Okay, you can hear the latkes sizzling over in my pan, and I'm going to make the dill sour cream sauce that goes with them. It calls for a cup of sour cream. Mr. Teacher doesn't love sour cream, so I'm going to cut the recipe in half. So I'm doing about a half a cup of the sour cream, about a half a teaspoon of the dill, which is awesome. And then a splash of red wine vinegar. And I've actually made this before. This is a great dip for vegetables. So I'm just gonna stir that up and let it sit so all the flavors can mellow together. And I think it is time to go flip my latkes. Yum. It's gonna be so fancy for breakfast. All right, our latkes are done. I have the sour cream in the middle. This recipe rocks. I cannot wait to eat these. They're gonna be perfect for any holiday breakfast or brunch or dinner side dish. Like these are super, super, super good. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.